Okay, what is today? Today's the 9th of July. Yeah, 2021. Okay. So anyway, she wants me to ask you a few questions. Wanted to find out about talk about your growing up and your memories of growing up.
Well, it wasn't too exciting.
So what did you remember like growing up over in Pueblo?
When I grew up in Pueblo, it was during hard times. Basically, my dad worked in the steel mills, and when he wasn't working the steel mills, he was growing different types of vegetables on about an acre of land. And mostly when I wasn't going to school, I was doing chores around, either helping cultivate the land so they could plant the different vegetables, and then after the vegetables had grown to maturity, then we'd pick them. And then when I was even in the fourth or fifth grade, I recall taking a basket of strawberries or celery or some of the vegetables around the neighborhood and trying to sell them for a small amount of money.
So, and you were saying that they had ice. There's an iceman who came around and dropped off ice for your ice chest.
Oh yeah. Well, in those days, motor vehicles are very scarce, and when we had required ice for the refrigerator, there used to be a horse-drawn wagon with where the iceman would deliver 25 pounds of ice to various houses in the neighborhood, and that's how we kept our food cool.
And then you used to have a lot of. Didn't you say your dad had a tractor or something? He made a tractor out of a Model T.
Well, yeah. Since we did a small amount of farming, Dad had a Model T, which he ordered parts from I think it was Sears Roebuck at that time, and all the necessary parts to transform that Model T Ford into a tractor, which we used to cultivate the land, and so we could grow crops on it.
Huh. Yeah. Did you ever go off and do any of that kind of work with him?
Well, I was so young that I watched my older brothers work on the farm, but it was pretty tedious work. I don't know how my dad did it, working full time at the steel mills and then working on the weekends on the farm. And of course, my older brother was doing most of the farm work. So, but that only lasted a couple years. It just became too much work to do.
Oh, and then he stopped doing it altogether?
What?
He stopped doing that altogether?
Yeah.
Oh. So tell me about your school when you were in school. What was it like in school over there
Well,
at the time?
the school system was very similar to what you have now. They didn't have preschool. It started off with kindergarten, and from kindergarten up to the 12th grade, which I went through and finally graduated in 1944.
And then what happened? You went into you got drafted?
Yeah, I graduated in June of '44, and then I was drafted into the Army in November of '44.
And then, so you went from Pueblo up to Denver or something for a short?
Well, during that time when I graduated high school, I went with my friend George Muramoto, and we lived in a sort of like a dormitory for about 4 months before going into service.
Where was that? The dormitory? Where was the
Well, that was in Denver, 25th Street in California.
Oh.
It was the dormitory was owned and run by a church.
Huh. Wasn't there an aunt or somebody who lived over there in Denver? I thought we went to see her once. Drove over
in
there.
Denver?
Yeah, in Denver.
No, I
they
didn't.
They had a store or something?
No, I never went to school in Denver.
No. Well, anyway. So, where did you go once you went into the military? You went over to Fort Lewis, or?
I was drafted in November, and then I had my basic training at the First Armory in Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Oh.
And after I finished that, they formed a counterintelligence corps unit of a company of Japanese Niseis. And the purpose of that was to exhibit Japanese arms and Japanese war tactics to various army camps throughout the country.
So,
but the war ended in that year or so. That Corps of Intelligence was disbanded.
so you were at Fort Lewis for a while up in Tacoma?
Yeah. Well, after that Corps of Intelligence crew was disbanded, I was transferred to Camp Swift, Texas, which is Austin, Texas, and there they gave me the option of going overseas and becoming part of the occupational force in Japan or Germany, or joining the U.S. Army for 1 year, which I decided to do, is to join the Army for 1 year and spend the rest of my Army experience in Fort Lewis.
So didn't you spend some time over in Camp David, you said, too? Was that part of that military intelligence?
Well, that was when I was in Corps of Engineers. I'm not a Corps of Engineers, but that counterintelligence corps unit. We trained at Camp David, and that's where we stayed for about a month and a half. And when the war ended with Japan, well, then that unit was disbanded.
And that was before they turned it into a presidential retreat, right?
I beg your
That
pardon?
was before they turned Camp David into a presidential retreat. It was just a
Yeah,
military
that was
camp.
before that. Yeah. After we left, that Camp David was transformed into a retreat for the president.
Oh, okay. And then you went over to Fort Lewis and spent time up there?
Well, I spent basically about a year and a half in Fort Lewis.
Hmm.
And then I was discharged December 1946.
Oh, okay. And you told me about a story once about how you went to, where was it, San Francisco, stopped at Coos Bays because you had to participate in a march or something, some military.
Well, that was Memorial Day. The 159th battalion was assembled to go to San Francisco to march down, I guess it was Market Street.
Uh-huh.
And it took it, we had a convoy down there in trucks.
From Fort Lewis?
Yeah, from Fort Lewis. And I don't know, all I can say is that the 59th Battalion soldiers didn't know really how to march. They looked like a bunch of stragglers walking down the street, so I don't know.
Yeah. So, hold on a second.